After months of warnings, the economic impact of rising tariffs may finally be starting to show up in the data and in the prices that you pay. Joining us now to talk about all of this is Ayush Gupta from the Dallas Business Journal. Thanks for being back with us.
Thanks for having us, Jason.
So as I was just saying, Dia was talking about school supplies and how those are expected to go up in the weeks ahead. It seems like for months and months we keep hearing about, we're going to see the impacts of these tariffs if these tariffs go forward, and the tariffs have been there, but some people maybe haven't noticed the price impacts, but we're seeing it now.
Yeah, you spoke to it, Jason. When tariffs were first announced earlier this year, there was a lot of uncertainty in the market as to how these policies will actually affect the economy. There's a lot of back and forth between the Trump administration and other countries going on, but I think we're at a time where we're finally seeing those changes. In particular, hardware costs have gone up 20%, and cabinet handles, the cost of cabinet handles has gone up from $10 to $12.50. Now, while that $2 increase—
Cabinet handles?
Cabinet handles,
okay.
Correct. And while that $2 increase might not seem like a lot, when you think about how many cabinets are in every home, that price increase is significant.
Well, and when you start talking about that too, you talk about $2.50 that a cabinet handle has gone up, but if the total price was $10 before, now you're starting to look at, that's a 25% increase. That's pretty substantial,
Correct.
Especially if you start multiplying it out. And then you start thinking about all of the other components in a home, and it's kind of that harbinger, it's kind of that canary in the coal mine that tells you the price of a home could go up significantly.
That is correct. In fact, the Dallas Builders Association actually told us that the new tariffs have added nearly $11,000 to the cost of a new home.
So anybody who's been sitting on the sidelines hoping that prices would come down or that mortgage rates would come down have that extra disappointment now of it not even being driven by the market, it's being driven by tariffs.
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about other things that you're seeing, and you're looking locally at this?
I am. Well, what I'm seeing is that there's still hope for buyers. Home builders are trying everything they can to help increase affordability. They're buying cheaper land, and they're trying to even build houses on smaller lots. In fact, the Texas legislature recently passed a bill that would allow for home builders to build on those smaller lots, and they prohibit actually cities from mandating larger lot premiums, which could help builders increase that affordability that they're all looking for.
An interesting thing, for months and months before the tariffs came about, we would hear this disagreement over who pays tariffs. There was a lot said like, oh, foreign countries pay them or a business pays them. But opponents of the tariffs have said all along that no, this trickles down to the consumer. In some of these cases, the business may try to absorb some of that cost, but in many cases, they can't possibly absorb the entire cost. And so, yes, it does go to the consumer.
It does. And actually, there's been a recent survey by Morning Consult that showed that consumer confidence has slipped from the first quarter till now. In fact, cities like Austin and San Antonio are a little bit more on the pessimistic side in terms of their future outlook. Meanwhile, residents in Dallas seem to be a little bit more optimistic, and I think that's just because of our business culture and the recent population growth that we've had. I mean, when you're adding more than 300 people on a daily basis, there's certainly a lot to look forward to.
When you're talking to business owners or builders out there, what are they expecting going forward here? Because we keep hearing that we're still going to see a lot more price hikes show up as these tariffs continue. Are they expecting more? What are we expecting to see in the months ahead?
Well, you said that, Jason. They are expecting more price hikes. What they're trying to do is they're trying to mitigate that through, financial incentives such as mortgage rate buydowns. That helps lower interest rates from what they are right now, which is at nearly 7% to about 5%. That can help the consumer ease their costs a little bit more, but unfortunately, it does impact the builders' profit margins. But builders are doing everything they can to help reduce the costs, but unfortunately, it looks like costs will continue to go up.
Tough on those builders, tough on their suppliers, eventually also tough on their consumers.
Correct.
Ayush Gupta from the Dallas Business Journal. We can read more about this, by the way, by going to the Dallas Business Journal on the internet. And thanks so much for looking into this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jason.